So, good day, everyone. We're here for another episode of the DVD show. So, for today, we have the current assistant coach of the Ateneo Blue Eagles and also assistant coach of the TNT Tropang Giga in the PBA. And also, he was a head coach before of the Batang Gilas. And before, he was also in the staff of the Gilas Pilipinas during the time of Coach Tab. So, I'll now welcome here on the DVD show Coach Sandy Arespacochaga. Thank you for joining me here on the podcast.
Thank you for inviting me, Diego. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, so yes. To start things off, Coach, I wanted to ask, so, kumusta ka na? And we've been communicating through Facebook, and it's been difficult also to get a schedule because I'm busy with school and you're busy with your other coaching tenure. So yeah, I wanted to ask how you've been doing like with all these coaching because like Ateneo, they have multiple leagues joining, and there's like what PBA on tour right now. So how's life
Yes.
for you off on and off the court?
It's been a bit busy. Like you mentioned, busy with two teams with Ateneo and multiple leagues, and a lot of practices also in between. Tas PB on tour pa. Coach Jolas. Well, of course, we all know Coach Chot and Coach Josh are with the Gilas team. And then
Mm-hmm.
Coach Jolas kasi has to leave. So hindi siya yung nagko-coach for this PBA on tour. So ako yung tasked to coach the team, the
Mm-hmm.
Talking Text team. We're not doing that well, but okay lang, okay lang. We're learning a lot, and it's been busy. It's been busy. Of course, family time also very important. So I've been busy with family also with my daughter. Yeah.
Coach, you mentioned that you're coaching now Ateneo and TNT, and it's like two big roles for you. And so let's start off with TNT. Since you said I didn't know because I don't watch PBA on tour. Like I watch PBA, like but then it's on tour kasi so parang yung mga big players di masyado naglalaro so hindi ko
Yeah.
masyadong pinapanood. Pero yeah, talking about TNT, yeah, they're one of the teams resting a ton of their veterans in the on tour. So how do you balance that like na yung mga second stringers, third stringers and like yung mga bago yung gustong kunin sa draft na they get the exposure here on the on tour pero syempre like you wanna win pa din and yun nga sabi mo you're struggling, so how do you balance that? It's like the like interim coach if you could say lao in the on tour.
Yeah, well, handling the Talking Text team at the start was made clear naman by Coach Jolas. Of course, Coach Jolas, he was the head coach before yung last conference, but also he's our team manager also. So
Mm.
from management also, it's clear that the focus is on development, and
Mm.
that's what we're trying to do with our current group of players. We've got four players from San Beda also joining the team. Parang sila yung reinforcements namin. And
Mm.
then the other players, I think only Glenn Cobontin is used to playing upwards of 18 minutes
Yeah.
per. So um, it's definitely a challenge if you just look at the games, but in terms of our overall goals that we want to make sure that our players improve individually, I think we're headed towards the right direction there. Hopefully, the wins will follow. But
Yeah.
if not, like I said, we're focused on our player development. That's very important.
Yeah, coach, you mentioned that yung wins is not like the utmost priority here in the on tour, as you mentioned with your meeting with the coaches. So you mentioned about development of the players. So I wanted to ask, ano yung mga major facets that you've been focusing on these players? Like, is it more of the defensive side, outside shooting, court awareness, perimeter? Like, yeah, what are you guys pinpointing on for this on tour?
Yeah, of course, shooting is some a daily thing for us. Getting reps, getting a lot of shots. Also, strength and conditioning. Um, uh, but we'd like to, we were emphasizing to our players that it's not like so we're not not playing Mikey Williams, Jason Castro, Kelly Williams, a lot of players. Okay, Roger Powe, Calvin Oftana. So we're telling them, don't think you have to fill their shoes, because once they get back, that's not gonna be your role. That's their role. So
Yeah.
we want them to be able to do well in their roles. But the difference is, instead of like 10 minutes off the bench, quality minutes, now they have to play 20. So one is, can they sustain that level of play for 20 minutes? Whereas before, 10 minutes lang, okay ka na. That in itself is something new. And a lot of these players haven't really played 20 plus minutes in a long time. Yung mga role players namin. But also, in terms of getting shots, wala kaming isolation eh. It's all part of, movement, all part of different actions within our offense, because yun nga, we're not going to be isolating them, asking them to go one-on-one once the other players come back. So it is something, I guess, that's coming from the management, and of course sila Coach Jolas, Coach Shot, something medyo, how do we say this? Bigger picture. It's not just, playing PBA on tour period, but meron game plan or long-term vision, long-term goals for us that we want to achieve during this PBA on tour. And hopefully once everyone's back and then mag-start na yung PBA regular season, our players have benefited from this experience. So that's the goal.
It's great that you guys have that philosophy and mindset na halos same kayo ng belief in terms of the TNT Katropa's objectives for the on-tour. Pero yeah, gusto ko rin tanungin kasi syempre nga, you mentioned na you want them to flourish on the role. So hindi naman star player yung role nila pag nag-start na yung next conference. So paano yun pag may mga place pa rin naman during the on-tour na kailangan nyo ng go-to guy or kailangan ng shot creator na like Mikey's role or Jason's role. So, paano mo na discern na, kailangan ngayon ganito pero hindi ka pwede masyadong sanay na ganito next na, ganun. How do you do that as a coach?
No, we're telling them, we're actually, it's weird because we're actually telling them to be, well, not to look for their shots, but to be aware of the shot opportunities that they have. And one of them is to our actions in our offense. So, for example, a simple handoff, before handoff sa kanila, but their role was after they get the ball. Now, where's Mikey, where's Jason? I'll pass to them. But hindi na nila nababasa yung handoff, a simple handoff action actually gives them different offensive options. For example, if your man goes under, do you have a pop back 3-point shot? If your man follows, do you have a drive or you have a curl action, diba? If the big man shows, do you have a pocket pass to the big? So that's what we're trying to emphasize with our players, to be, kumbaga, we don't tell them don't shoot. Okay? We just tell them to be responsible and get their shots off of our actions. Parang ganon. So hopefully that's the balance that we're trying to establish or trying to imprint on our players, na look for their shots pero within the offense.
So yeah, as you've been telling your players and that they should look for their shots and they'll gain more confidence from these opportunities they're receiving. Sino yung mga players na tingin mong they've been playing well so far in the on tour na could have a larger role in the next conference and flourish in it?
Well, Glenn Cobontin has been our most consistent player, I think, and he's also the guy who plays a lot, even when the others are back. Glenn starts for us, diba? So, his role, more or less, he's ready for 20 minutes because he would sometimes get that, diba? So he was ready. He's ready for a lot of minutes. So si Glenn yung pinaka siguro shall we say nagbe-benefit already in that sense. But all the others may mga small improvements lang for us that hopefully when you add them all up malaking bagay. Halos lahat meron JD Tungkab, just the proper shot selection, avoiding turnovers, and being a creator not just for himself. So like last game, he had 5 or 6 assists, so that was good for us. And he lessened his turnovers compared to the previous game. Dave Marcelo also knowing when he's got an outside shot to shoot or not, and then we're also trying to get him to get him touches for him to be able to become a facilitator, not necessarily Jokic or what, but he's a good passer.
Yeah.
Carl Brian Cruz with his 3-point shooting, it's already given, but yung defense naman niya, we're also looking at that. Si Matt Ganuela's roster, getting to play more and playing multiple positions, which he already does, but at the
Yeah.
same time being more aggressive in that role. Si Paul Barilla, I guess more of the same. Like he's just a catch and shoot guy normally, or catch and pass actually. A main defender. So even when he has the ball, we're telling him you can start the break, so that
Yeah.
hopefully him and Glenn, we're telling them start the break, be like a point guard in that sense that you learn how to be a decision maker. I think that's the better term, to be a decision maker. When to attack, when to pass, when to pull back, when to create. And it's up and down in the sense that we've had some success with almost everyone, but there's also been mistakes. But you learn from the things that you do well, and sometimes more importantly, you learn from your mistakes. Di ba? You learn more from that. So that's what we've been emphasizing with these guys.
Yeah, that's really great to see, and exciting for the TNT fans na yeah, these players will continue to improve kasi nga kala ko dati like mahaba yung break and wala mangyayari until the next conference, pero this will be a huge help for the players you mentioned. Yeah, they're getting the reps that they don't normally get in a regular conference, wherein guys like Mikey and RR are there in the lineup. So yeah, talking about new roles and like a very big change. It's also the same case in Ateneo, since you guys were the champions last year in the UAAP, and that people want to know how the team's been going. And without Ange Kwame, without Dave Ildefonso, without DJ Andrade, it's a very different lineup. Like when I watched Ateneo and Phil Oil against UP and LaSalle, parang naninibago nga ako dun sa lineup nila and how you guys run things compared to when sila Ange were there. So I wanted to ask you, how's the status so far of Ateneo? Like I know in Pinoy Liga may chance pa na champion kayo, and in Phil Oil unfortunately nga na-eliminate na kayo. So how's the team been going like so far?
Well, I'd like to start off by saying that last year we were champions and also runner-up. Di ba?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
2 seasons in one. So
Yeah.
it was it was a weird year. It was because it was half malungkot, half masaya, parang gano'n eh. Kasi nga, we lost and we also won. So yeah, it's definitely been a big adjustment, and it's an ongoing process. Like you mentioned, the guys that we lost, BJ, Dave, they're part of the starting lineup, etc., etc. But you mentioned Ange Kwame also, and I think his impact in the game, kasi medyo bago pa lang siya, and he doesn't post terrific mga 30 points. He doesn't do that but his impact in the game is so grabe. I mean, you talk about his defense, talk about getting double figure points without plays being called for him, and he's been a rock for us for the past how many years, defensively, offensively.
an unselfish guy. He doesn't care if he doesn't get shots. Just does his job. Terrific teammate. No problem with us coaches. And he really impacts the game on different levels. Multi-level yung ano niya, yung impact ni Ange. So, yeah, it's hard to enumerate like you said, BJ, Dave, all the other guys, even our guys who didn't play well, but they really helped with the team and the team culture and the team dynamics. Because we're big in practices eh. So malaking bagay in practices for us. So ang daming tulong ng ibang players kahit sa practice that others don't see, but for us malaking bagay. So we're missing all of them, but that's life. We move on. We have to, I don't know if, ano ba word doon? I don't see it as rebuild but maybe you can say rebuild or what.
Retool.
But retool, I
Yeah.
guess. But definitely there's something exciting also kasi it's a chance for other players to step up. We have parang motto or mantra na next man up. And we're excited to see who the next guys would be, who would step up. But it's not going to be actually one player. I think it's has to be collective talaga. We have to come together as a team, not just try to fill the individual roles of those who graduated because it's hard and we're not asking them to do that. We're asking them to become the best versions of themselves. And this off season is a learning curve for us. Every off season, that's our attitude to learn, improve, and we maganda kasi sa Phil Oil in a way failure kami kasi we were knocked out early. Ito naman sa Pinoy Liga, we're in the running. So that in itself, a lot of lessons learned from both wins and losses, and we're also learning a lot about our players. We're learning a lot. The players are learning a lot from their teammates. They're learning a lot from the coaches also. So I think with regards to the other teams, how our position is, actually there are a lot of question marks. Di ba? Yun ang maganda. Yun ang mystery di ba? May maganda kasi remains to be seen how we'll fare against the other teams who have also improved, di ba? Immensely. I talk about Lasal pa lang, Lasal alone, di ba?
Yeah.
A lot of things have improved. Individual play. We got new players coming in. We got a new coaching staff, and I think everyone's excited. I think the Lasal community should be excited. They
Hopefully, we
have
lost yesterday though.
uh no, but you lost yesterday, but you learn, and you won naman kanina game 1, di ba? You won
Yeah,
game
yeah.
1 sa D-League.
League. Yeah.
Yes. Oh, plus you've got the Phillips brothers with Gila's experience,
Mm.
di ba? That's a lot. You've got good leadership, etc. So I think if we can go on and talk about all the other teams. UP, same thing. I can say
Yeah.
exactly the same thing, di ba? But with Coach Goldwyn, is yung there being a stable, di ba? Yung coaching staff nila solid, new players coming in, etc. etc. NU, di ba? FEU, Adams, so ang dami natin pwede pag-usapan. So I think the key for us, for our team, is how much we learn and improve because we know we're not one of the top teams in the UAP. And that's our challenge, to learn and improve and be able to um, be able to compete with the other top teams in the UAAP. So that's the challenge for us because everyone is improving. Parang ganun
Yeah.
di ba? We can talk about
Yeah.
improvement. The other coaches would say the same thing, di ba?
Mm.
So I think it's really the teams that would improve a lot and make and elevate yung team play using this off season headed into the UAP. Yun yung key. Yun yung maganda. Yun yung maganda. That's gonna be exciting.
Yeah. Yeah, coach, you mentioned nga na madaming mysteries pa and like question marks with Ateneo. And as you know naman na there was a tweet ata or like there was a post before na before the start of Phil Oil, I think first game nyo was UP. People were saying na wala pa kayo masyadong practice and hindi pa masyadong nakaka-gel yung mga bagong players. So, not sure if that's true or not. Basta like they had kasi exams or they were focused more on
Yeah.
school kasi nga they missed a lot during UAAP. So yeah, I wanted to ask, ano yung progress in terms of that? Because like si Coach Tab din, like when he guested here on the pod, like he would say na, syempre, madami na siyang knowledge and madami siyang gustong ituro. Pero mahirap kasi yung parang step by step, like nagigets na ba ng player to hanggang etong week, ito lang pwede ituro natin para master nila. Next week, ito naman yung ifo-focus, ganun. So how's the progress in terms of that with Ateneo since yeah the core like I mean Fortski's still there and sila Sean Quinteles but the other players that are getting a ton of minutes they're not really they're not really used to that from the previous season.
Yeah, well, yeah, we got off to a rocky start because yeah, we had to take 2 weeks off for exams. Hell week and then exam. So you know how it is, di ba?
Yeah,
Na halos magkadugtong yung hell week and exam. So
yeah,
we gave them 2 weeks off. Athletics department advised all of us, all the teams na these next 2 weeks off yung players. So, makapag-aral sila. And we didn't have practice time, that's true. But, you play with the cards you're dealt with, di ba? So we went into the Phil Oil tournament. And I don't think that's an excuse also because at that point versus all the other teams, kahit na let's say ahead pa rin talaga yung Lasal, they're all ahead. Um, in terms of I guess preparation, daming veterans, etc., etc. Um, so kailangan we have to go through that. We have to our players like you mentioned. We have a lot of new guys and some who haven't been playing. You mentioned San Quiteves, for example. He played only halos dulo na lang eh.
mm,
He was riding the bench most of last year also, but because he made an impact towards the end, people remember him, di ba? Parang ganon.
mm.
So that's key for us, experience, and that helps them individually. Of course, having all of these practice times, then, and being able to, get used to the things that Coach Tab wants to implement offensively, defensively. Malaking bagay yon. I think as time goes on, um, some of the things na hopefully we want them to get instinctively nagkakaroon na ng reps so that we're heading there. So, okay naman yung progress. Okay naman. But like I said, it's how fast we get to where we want to be. Yun yung key. And we want to get there bago sa start ng UAAP or even, as the UAP hits, we continue to improve. I think that's going to be key for us.
Yeah, yeah. You mentioned about the goal or like the progress that you want by the start of UAAP. So since you've said that, ano yung mga main points na talagang fino-focus niyo with this group na talagang tingin mo na kailangan nila improve or kailangan nila i-focus more like with this unit? Kasi like for example sa Lasal, like I didn't know, but then KQ said in a podcast that we were last in defense daw last season. So, syempre, pagkapasok pa lang ni Coach Topex, di ba? Like, now you could see in their preseason games na yung trap nila and yung press nila. Like, it's been very different from the previous 2 seasons. So, like, for Ateneo now, like, yeah, they don't have a guy like Ange who can man the paint anymore or a Dave who can create something out of nothing in a throwaway possession. So, yeah, ano yung talagang gusto ni Coach Tab na mag-emphasize and mag-thrive sila at this point of at the UAP during the UAP season.
Yeah, kasi it's funny that just by naming some of the players who were missing, like Ange Kwame, that's our defense already.
Yeah,
Kasi
yeah,
Of course, we have a defensive system, but
Yeah.
Ange is just Ange can switch versus
Yeah.
guards, and that's
Mm.
not a mismatch.
Yeah.
He can guard the best big. He can switch on to a guard, and then like dati nga against Adamson, second round I think, napaswitch si Ange kay Lastimosa.
Mm.
Kinuran siya ni Lastimosa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sinibuk siya ni Lastimosa. Sa Final Four, wala kaming switch pick and
Yeah.
roll against Lastimosa. Ange called it out. Switch, switch! Parang gusto bumawi. Binantayan si Lastimosa, na-stop niya. Di ba? I mean, that's the kind of... Na minsan nga, nanonood kami ng tape. Parang si Ange, binantayan, we put him on Carl Tamayo.
Yeah.
Okay? But then, he helps out in Diouf and goes back to
Yeah.
Carl Tamayo to make sure that, parang,
Yeah.
you
Cheat
know,
code.
this guy does the job of two people eh. Parang ganun,
Mm.
kaya niya bantayan lahat. Di ba?
Mm.
And that's just Ange. You talk about BJ Andrade, for example.
Mm.
Our best perimeter defender and one of our best three-point shooters and free throw shooters. So one of our
Yeah.
best shooters in the team. So that's defense and offense. And you talk about Dave also, his ability to create shots. Di ba? So ang daming facets talaga ng game for us that that's affected by these people graduating, di ba? So in response to your question, we need to improve on offense and defense. All of these things, we need to improve. Of course, we can say na parang grabe naman yon, napaka-broad, but that's the reality for us, di ba? Of course we want to also to have an identity. What's our identity, 'di ba? Are we a defensive team? Are we like nabanggit mo si KQ na defense is one of their focus, 'di ba?
Mm.
That's good, but also if you notice, KQ offensively is playing at an elite level, 'di
Mm.
ba? He's knocking down three-pointers na hindi na set shot, may pagka-set shot tira niya, catch and shoot lang. He shoots like a perimeter player now. Di
Mm.
ba? His passing has always been there, but now, he shoots like a perimeter player. Di ba?
Mm.
So that has improved. Michael Phillips has improved offensively also. Di ba? I think other players have improved. I think ano ba to? Mas sanay siguro, ay mas comfortable, I think, si Nonoy with his role now. Hindi
Yeah.
yung, what are you going to get? Di ba? Parang ganun kay Nonoy. Is
Yeah.
it going to be the good side
Yeah.
or parang,
Yeah.
you don't know. Game to game, pa-iba-iba.
Parang
Parang ganun
Westbrook.
yung performance niya.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
those things, makikita mo, that's the kind of approach I think that LaSalle is doing well on the right track. You just can't focus on one thing. You have to make sure that you improve a lot of facets in your game. And then I think in this off season, that's key. Finding out the identity of the team, our team. What's our identity? Diba? That's going
Mhm.
to be big for us. We want to become a defensive team. We want to become an elite defensive team. How do we get there? That's the challenge for us. And offensively also, we were one of the upper echelon also sa offense. So with all the firepower gone, how do we produce points? That's the question that we're trying to solve. We'd like to work around some of the strengths of our players individually, but also, I guess, collectively then. Um, that's going to be key for us, recognizing the strengths of the individual players that we have and trying to put them all together, whether it be a play or just the players knowing what the strengths of their teammates are and looking for them and within the course of the game. So those are the things that are still ano ba yan? Being in the process, di ba? Linuluto pa yon. Parang
Mm.
ganon. And then the product, we'll see. Hopefully, masarap yung naluto namin, di ba?
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, since coach, you've been an assistant coach for Ateneo for many years. And syempre yung mga ibang iterations, sa umpisa, hindi naman kagad nga sila like championship contending. Like madami din silang pinagdaanan. Like now, yung mga pinagdadaanan ng players now na, yun nga, madaming roadblocks pa since start pa lang nung parang process with this new batch of Ateneo Blue Eagles. Pero ikaw, like as an assistant coach and as an observer, anong sinong players or anong parts ng game like now sa Pinoy Liga you guys are doing well, like ano yung sa tingin mong may potential or may upside kayo na gumaling doon pero syempre like kulang pa nga sa consistency or kulang pa sa reps, like ano yung sa tingin mong parts ng game na yun na pwedeng malaman ng mga tao?
So parts ng, because we mentioned that Ange Kwame being out, one of the elite defensive players we've had, or you can argue the UAAP has seen. That's arguable. With him out, our defense has to be more yung system defense namin, how we play defense as a team, without Ange catching, making up for all of our other mistakes. Parang ganon. He'll plug in holes kasi magkamali yung isang teammate niya, he's there, So that's the challenge for us, not making mistakes because no one is there to clean up for us. So that puts a lot of premium on individuals getting the system down and being good individual defenders first, and then being good team defenders next. So I guess that's the challenge and that's the thrust that we have defensively. For example, yun yung task for us defensively. Offensively naman, I think it's the players getting used to some of the plays that we have. Some of the players we have my new plays, or we have new players. So kahit old play, they're still gonna get used to it. And normally kasi pag may play si Coach Tab, it's multi-option, parang ganon, maraming options within the plays. So it's the players knowing the scoring options within the proper actions of the plays, parang ganon. Knowing their roles, how to look for their shots within that offense, parang ganon. That's the challenge. That's what we're trying to figure out now.
Yeah, knowing Coach Tab and based from the interviews when I hear him, like he really values our preparation and talagang feeling ko may time naman, hindi yung parang bubble na ilang months lang, and 'di ba? Hindi nga parang nagulat nga yung lahat na Ateneo was the one who flourished, but then in my opinion like kayo na yung magkakasama kasi nung season 82 'di ba? Like the others go to season 84 like Lasal, we were all like, oh, parang di sila lahat sanay maglaro na magkakasama, pero since Ateneo, they won season 82 and 80. Season 82, 81, diba? Like three-peat. So they're going into season 84 kayo yung dominant. It's just that yun nga sa final sayang. Pero yung time na yun, like you could see that Ateneo was a well-oiled machine. So you never know going into this season, like there's still ilang months pa, September pa naman yung opening. So we'll see on that. Yeah. But yeah, knowing you, Coach Sandy, I've seen you coaching for since I was a kid and playing for Ateneo, coaching Ateneo and coaching these PBA teams. I'm really intrigued. Like, how did you start to fall in love with the sport of basketball? Because I'm not sure if you were a player before or were you a huge fan or did you just start as a coach? Like, that's something I always ask my guests. But then, yeah, for you, I'm more intrigued because syempre, like I'm not really have no clue how you got into this assistant coaching gig and you've been here for like many years already and hindi ka na fire or whatever.
Yeah, I started off, of course, fan of basketball. Played basketball, pero laro lang sa kalye, laro lang sa neighborhood. And then, tryout ako sa Ateneo High School. I made it to the Pi Aspirants team and then the UAP Juniors team. Next tryout ko. So I was lucky after that, pagdating sa college, I tried out for Ateneo men's basketball team. I made it. That was during the dark days of Ateneo. Na if I were coaching now and I will try out, I'll cut myself. You know, and well, from there, I think it's a combination of my love for basketball, and then ano rin kasi I was inclined to be a teacher. In fact, I was
Oh,
a
okay.
teacher. I taught Araling Panlipunan in Ateneo High School when I graduated. So when I
That's good.
graduated, I was part-time Araling Panlipunan teacher. World history yun.
Yeah.
And I was head coach of the juniors team and assistant coach of the college team. So parang uh, I think blessing that I was able to combine the passion na yung gusto ko, yung like teaching basketball, coaching.
Mm.
It's a combination of the two. All coaches are actually teachers. You have to be a teacher to be a coach. You know, it's not just X and O's. It's
Mm.
you have to teach. You have to teach. Um, and you've got to have that mindset of a teacher na talagang, you know, you're after your students' welfare, parang ganon, individual. So I think that really helped me. And of course, 'di ba, parang nag-teach ako ng basketball, pinagsama yung dalawa. And because I really loved my kasi Ateneo High School ako eh, Ateneo High School and college. I was a Jazz Grade School. I loved my experience in Ateneo, and I think yung how the values taught to me talagang nagustuhan ko. So parang it was great. I was at home in Ateneo, and ano eh blessing talaga, and I think that's why I've been here ever since. I'm enjoying what I do, and I'm blessed to be given this opportunity na to be able to do what I love to do, to the point na minsan I forget it's a job, parang gano'n.
Yeah.
It's minsan kasi ang laking bagay, find the passion in your life, parang ganon.
Mm.
And of course there are ups and downs, of course, but um that's why I think I'm very blessed eh. So yun, ganun nangyari sa akin. I wasn't good enough to make it to the pros. So I became a coach, parang ganon.
Mm.
Yeah. But funny thing lang, last game of my UAAP playing career, during round robin, I fractured and dislocated my left ankle. So that was a big sign from God na, wag ka na mag-basketball. Mag-coach ka na lang.
Okay, I didn't know
During
that.
round robin yun. Pero
Oh.
nagdadunk pa ako noon. Kaya ako na
Wow.
fracture and dislocate sa dunk.
Oh, sa dunk dahil kaya ka na-injury?
Yes. Well, yeah, well, actually, sa dunk. Actually, the player before me dunked. Pero may mali. Someone did not put the lock on the goal. So natanggal, and then bumaba yung basket. So ako yung sunod,
Wow,
pagtalon
okay.
ko, I was gonna hit the backboard.
Oo.
So I avoided the backboard. That's why I landed awkwardly. But I dunked it first. Tapos tumiwas ako. So I landed awkwardly. Na fracture and dislocate yung pa ako, nag 90 degrees, parang gano'n.
Ang sakit. Yeah. But, yeah. I'm curious kasi nga, coach, you mentioned na you were a fan player early in your days, and then yung passion mo nga sa coaching tuloy-tuloy na hanggang ngayon. So I'm curious, saan nang galing yun or paano na-develop yun? Kasi alam mo naman na madami rin namang players na magaling or talented on the court and the role. Pero pag pinagawa mo na silang coach, hindi na sila ganun kagaling na coach, hindi na kaya magturo. So, ikaw, paano mo na-translate yun on being a coach and being consistent? Kasi madami na ring changes and you're still here and you're still one of the most prominent coaches in collegiate and pro basketball.
Hindi naman siguro prominent. Matagal lang kaya naging ganun. I guess I'm lucky with that. But
Mm.
I think, um, my lack of talent helped because when I was playing, because I'm not talented, but I averaged a triple single when I was playing. Very
Draymond.
talented. Triple single, yes.
Yeah.
Poor man's Draymond ako. So ano yung stats ni Draymond? 9 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Divide mo into 2. Ganun yung averages ko. But but my lack of skill, I had to make up for it somehow. I wanted to play, I wanted to help the team out. So I had
Mm.
to learn and listen to my coach in order for me to be able to help the team, in order for me to
Mm.
play. Kailangan, kung ano gusto ng coach, gagawin ko. Di
Mm.
ba? Alam ko dapat yung plays, alam ko what he wants. Wala akong offensive skill, so I poured my heart out on defense. I'm 6'1". I was 145 pounds. I was skinny.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, but I was a power forward in high school. I had to learn how to become a wingman in college. I think that actually helped because I had to learn how to defend bigger guys and smaller guys kasi I had experience in both. So I had to, I guess yun yung calling card ko defensively. I had to be able to guard smalls and bigs. Call me the very, very poor man's Angelo Kwame. Parang ganon. Very, very poor man's. Okay? But that helped me kasi nung naging coach na ako, I learned how to defend small and big. So I can tell my players, oh, this is how you defend, this is how you defend. Based on my experience, of course. And parang playing within the system because I wasn't a talented offensive player. So I wanted to rely as a coach na on system rather than individual play. Parang ganon. But that's why I keep calling it a blessing. I've been blessed with excellent head coaches. I've been an assistant coach for a long time. I've had excellent head coaches who developed and nurtured me as a coach. So I owe a lot of debt to these guys. Actually, even kahit nung, like I said, nakatulong ng player pa ako, I had to learn eh. So I had to learn from all of my coaches. Baby Dalupan, Mark Molina, Perry Ronquillo, Ricky Palou. I had to learn Chris Kalilan when I was playing, all of these different coaches. Tas, nung nag-coach na ako, I was under Coach Mark Molina. Also, assistant coach niya ako, Coach Joe Lipa, Coach Joel Banal, Coach Norman Black, Coach Bo Perasol, now, tapos Coach Tab Baldwin, and then PBA coaches din. Ang dami ko rin blessings from all of these coaches. Ang dami kong natututunan from them. So I think, I'm lucky, I'm blessed. And I think the key also is, for me, is you could continue to learn. Learning doesn't stop. Learning doesn't stop. You have to evolve, you have to learn, you have to grow. So yung growth mo nandun pa rin. The more that you learn, the more that you grow, the more that you can help your players improve and grow as well. So yun, that's key for me. And also assistant coaches na mga kasama ko, they've been a big blessing because I learned from them too. Yun, ang dami kong parang swerte lang ako, parang ganon. Kasi blessing talaga eh, parang ganon. I've been put in situations where I've learned and benefited, di ba? And it's weird because, hindi naman weird, pero minsan kasi buhay ganun eh, na you'd think, malas naman, parang ganon, but my injury helped me, settle down into becoming a coach. Wala na aspirations ko to become a basketball player. My lack of offensive talent helped me to learn from my coaches at an early age in order for me to play. Nakatulong pala yun kasi dapat, alam mo yun, magiging coach pala ako. So, and ngayon ko lang na-realize yun. As in, ngayon lang. Ngayon, nag-usap tayo. Hindi. Di naman. But you learn later in life na, uy, okay pala itong mga bagay na to di ba? So, I don't know if whether sabihin mo that that's God's plan or what, or maybe God's coincidence. It can all be coincidence also.
Yeah.
But whatever it is, whatever you're dealt with, di ba? You try to learn and improve from that experience, and hopefully that will help you in life at one point or another. Yun. So I think that's I'm lucky and I'm blessed.
Yeah, yeah. You mentioned coach na it was your passion talaga to be a coach. And some individuals for sure, want to be a coach pero either hindi nila kaya i-sustain kasi like yeah, if they have a family or wala nang kumukuha sa kanila, like paano ka magiging coach? Pero for you nga, you've been a coach for so long and you mentioned you developed a lot of friendships and relationships with these coaches and kaya siguro like you've been doing well and close ka sa kanila. So kahit anong mangyari, lilipat-lipat ka lang ng team. Pero you still have a job in order to sustain your life and like your family. So how would you say yun nga, mga relationships or are there other things na talagang important for you na nakita mo on why coaching would be a sustainable job? Because others might think na pwede ka lang ma-fire after one
Yeah.
conference tapos paano na yung buhay mo ganun. So yeah, how would you explain it to like the audience?
Minsan there's a saying that coaches are meant to be fired. May ganong aspect that minsan pag I got fired already. I was coach of the Ateneo men's basketball team, the seniors team, for a year, and I was fired after that. And nung nangyari sa akin, parang yung mga ibang coaches na kilala ko, congratulations, you're now officially a coach. Ganun, di ba? You've been fired. Di ba?
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's hard, definitely. That's why I still say I'm blessed. Di ba? I'm blessed to have been around UAAP basketball, to have been an Ateneo coach for all this time. Kailan ka ba pinanganak?
2000.
Okay, nagde-date pa lang ang mom and dad mo, nag-coach na ako. So, recently, I talked to one of our young assistant coaches also, and I said, parang have faith and confidence and do your job and do it well because parang talent will rise to the top. Parang ganon ang sinabi ko na
Paraphrase.
of course, I still think that being put in a good position helps a lot. I was put in a great position, and that's why may luck involved and blessing, di ba? But you work hard. Sinabi ko, continue working hard, and there are some players, there are some coaches, young coaches are really talented. Madami ako nakikita. But continue learning, continue to improve, find your niche, parang ganon. Kasi yung iba ang direction nila more analytics, yung iba video, yung iba trainers na skills trainers na nauso ngayon.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oo. And there are a lot of good. So, malaking bagay din yon. And then yun nga, work hard and continue learning, and the cream will rise to the top. Parang ganon. Hopefully, when you do get that break, you'll be ready para when you get that opportunity. Minsan yun talaga kailangan mo. You just need an opportunity. But once that opportunity comes, if you're not ready, don't waste that opportunity. You don't know when you'll get it again. Parang ganon So yun yung advice ko. So I guess for the other coaches nga, yun. But pero yung learn importante. You should never be too good as a coach. Once you think, I know it all, that's your as a coach. You have to continue learning, evolving. That's ongoing. So that takes also humility, learning.
yun, try to learn from different people um, and work hard.
Yeah. And you mentioned a lot about learning, coach. So ikaw, like from, yeah, since you started coaching, sino yung mga key, like, people that you continue to learn from and, continue to evolve? Since you're assistant coach, for sure, kailangan, may mga bago ka rin tututunan and may impart. So, yeah, sino yung mga talagang tinitingnan mo na coaches or ng mga tao, like, kahit online lang or locally here that guide you?
I think, I think most of us naman follow whether Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, follow different yung mga nagpo-post ng mga content. That's good. You also learn from that. Of course, kikilatisin mo lang, you just pick na you have to analyze also, uy,
Yeah.
this is good. Kasi yung iba doon, hindi good eh. Di ba? So, you have to do that. But I also learn a lot from my current coaches talaga. Coach Tab sa Ateneo, Coach Chot, naging Coach Jolas with Talk and Text. And you actually learn a lot from your opposing coaches, yung mga opponents mo eh.
For sure,
Once
yeah.
you scout them, it's weird kasi mga adversaries kami, di ba? Magkalaban kami. But actually, we help each other eh. Kasi kung magaling na coach kalaban mo, you have to step up your game. Di ba? And minsan, by analyzing and studying your opponent, makikita mo, ay, ang galing nito. Ito yung ginagawa niya. That helps you out. Di ba? I mean, wala naman. Kasi if you don't do your job as a coach at di mo ma-analyze yung kalaban mong coach, hindi mo makikita ano ba yung ginagawa niya talaga, bakit siya magaling.
Yeah,
Di ba? Why does his team win? Di ba? So, kailangan mo i-break down yon in order to beat him. And in doing so, gagawa ka ng game plan to help your team, di napapagaling mo yung team mo. Di ba? So, there's that connection also with the opposing coaches. They force you to step up, they force you to improve. If not, tatalo ka, di ba? And no coach wants to lose. Di ba? So in order for you to win, you have to do that. If not, you're at a disadvantage kaagad pagdating sa games.
Yeah, I wanted to ask nga, coach, since you've been learning a lot now from your assistant coaching tenures, and usually, diba, madaming mga coaches na nagbibigyan rin ng head coaching opportunity. So I'm curious for you, is it more of like a personal preference and why you've been like a assistant coach for Ateneo? Like you mentioned that you were a head coach, but only for a short period. And even for Batang Gilas, that's one I could remember. But I'm not sure if you were a head coach in any of these other major leagues or talagang gusto mo lang yun na assistant coach ka. Kasi mayroong mga tao na gano'n na gusto nila maging assistant coach, na-enjoy nila gano'n. And, gusto lang nila dun, ayaw na nilang maging head coach pa. So, for you, may pagka-gano'n ba or a mix of both in terms of your career?
I think that I mentioned finding your niche, di ba? Parang gano'n.
Yeah.
I think as an assistant coach, malaking may tutulong ko talaga sa head coach. Medyo, kasi, how do I say this? Weird eh, pero parang dahil ayaw ko maging head coach, yung head coach ko has nothing to fear from me.
Okay. Yeah.
So, you're safe. I'm not out to steal your job. I'm here to help you and assist you. That's my... And I think that I excel in my role given kasi back to my playing days, role player ako eh. Ito role mo, yan gagawin ko. And weird kasi yung mga paborito kong player dati pa, puro role players. Hindi yung superstars eh.
Yeah.
So Jordan, ang mga paborito ko noon, sila Judd Bushler. Di mga ganun eh. Hindi man lang Scottie Pippen eh. Di ba?
Yeah.
Hindi man lang yung second level na superstar eh. Hindi ganun eh. Ang mga gusto ko, Judd Bushler, yung mga ganun. Ron Harper.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, maybe may ganun akong mentality na that I enjoy being a support person, parang ganon, to help out my head coach. And
I don't know if I'll be head coach. I like you mentioned, I was head coach of the Gilas youth team for a year.
Mm.
Ngayon, PBA on tour. I don't know what the future holds for me. I might become a head coach later on,
Yeah.
possibly. Diba? But as of now, I'm very happy and I'm very content with being an assistant coach to my head coaches, to my teams. Yun.
Yeah, and yeah, you mentioned nga that you've been content and being assistant coach, and you've been coaching for two teams. And I wanted to ask, since you've even if you've been coaching for a very long time, do you still have other dreams or any other goals before you, let's say, you retire or you quit from coaching? Like, do you still wanna coach a team, a certain player, or I don't know, coach abroad? Like, do you have any other goals that you'd want to achieve?
Yes, show business. That's
Iba na yun, coach.
no. Uh, I I don't know if uh, my lack of ambition is a gift or a curse. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
So that's weird, di ba? I mean, you have to be ambitious also para maging
Mm,
na I'll pursue being a head coach. Parang ganun eh. But
mm,
hindi eh. I mean, I think if it's there's an opportunity and everything feels right, go. If not, okay lang. But maybe not for me individually. Maybe not for me individually.
mm.
Maybe because I was a member of the Gilas basketball team.
Yeah.
So maybe more for our national team.
Mm.
Um, and the basketball in our country, yun yung bagay na gusto kong we continue to do well. Um, uh, yun yung ano ko. At I'm hoping, I'm praying that we continue to become world, hindi naman world, yeah, world class. Yeah, why not? Why
Yeah,
not?
why not?
We
Yeah.
why not, di ba? That's my dream that we become a world class team.
Mm.
We make it to the Olympics, di ba? And I've been blessed to know people na being a coach na you could say na uy, may mga ibang hindi lang ako ganyan, marami rin, di ba? Marami rin. Like Coach Juno Soler, for example, may ano siya yung stop playing zone
Yeah.
advocacy niya, di
Yeah, I
ba?
listen to that nga when he goes on podcast. Yeah.
Yes, that's great.
Mm.
And
Mm.
that's not he doesn't earn from that, but that's his
Mm.
advocacy na that would help our national basketball landscape, di ba?
Mm.
Na that would help us, di ba? Yung mga ganun bagay, Coach John Wichico, I'm close to Coach John Wichico. He's part of the SBP Coaches Academy na he
Yeah.
invites me na tumulong sa kanila. Unfortunately, hindi pa ako nakakasama because of my schedule. But I would love to help out, di ba? There are a lot of people who have these uh, also goals and dreams to help our country. So, yon. I'm excited for people like that, and hopefully there'll be more people na would be the same. Yon.
Yeah, that's really great to hear from you, Coach. Sobrang selfless lang rin yung ambition and goal mo. And yeah, sana talagang, yeah, maging matupad din in the next, let's say, I don't know, 5 to 10 years, hopefully. Kasi mahirap nga dahil ang dami rin magagaling sa buong mundo in terms of basketball. And yeah, Coach, thank you again for joining me here on the podcast. But before we wrap up, I have a couple of questions that I usually ask my guests. With let's say, pretty relaxed and pretty standard compared to other podcasts. So yeah, to start things off, I'm pretty sure you know, Coach, that in the NBA bubble, doon nag-start na maging vocal yung mga players in terms of the social and political issues. And dito sa Philippines, alam nyo naman na medyo shy or timid yung mga tao when it comes to that. Except nung pandemic, mas feeling ko naging vocal yung mga Pinoy in terms of their beliefs or whatever they think is whether ng elections or whatever issues were arising nung pandemic. But then for you, as someone in the sports world and someone who has a platform, what's your opinion on athletes, sports personalities, or coaches being more vocal or being vocal about social and political issues and using their platform to express their views and opinions?
I think kasi sa Pilipinas mahirap kasi normally mga Pilipino medyo hindi naman lahat pero may pagkamahiyain yung personality, I guess. But like you mentioned, over yung sa elections, a lot of people have been have made public their stand, di ba? Which is good, I think. That's good. Having, using your platform for something that you believe to be right and will help our country. Definitely, I'm all for it. It may not be for every person, di ba? But as long as talagang what's for the greater good, hindi ka naman iboto mo to kung hindi, di ba? Hindi naman ganon. But you're trying to educate, you're trying to inform people, di ba? And a lot of athletes right now, even yung mga charity projects nila, nakakatuwa. They raise funds for people in need. It's terrific, because ang sarap maging pag may mababait na tao, di ba? Parang nakakatuwa eh. And then nakakahawa kung may makita kang taong mabait, parang gusto mo maging mabait na din. Parang, magbigay ako na rin, di ba? Parang, di ba, lalo na iba na may ina-idolize ka. So, yung bait naman ito, grabe. Sige, mag-donate nga ako ng 10 pesos. 10 pesos mo, di ba? I mean, 10 tao nag-donate ng 10 pesos na nabaitan sa'yo. O di 100, di ba? Alam mo yun? Nakakatuwa. And saludo ko sa mga athletes natin that do that.
Yeah, that's great to hear from you, coach, as someone from the sporting world. So for the next question, ito interesting, based from the kwento we had the whole for the past hour. So if you had the opportunity to have dinner with 5 people, dead or alive, sino ibitahin mo?
5 people, dead or alive. Siyempre, yung asawa at anak ko. Yeah? Tapos yung mami ko. Pero, teka, sandali. Ano yun? Given yun.
Yeah,
so,
given.
wag na natin, yun.
Okay,
counted na dun sa 5. Michael Jordan. Okay? Michael Jordan. Number 1. Sandy Arespacochaga.
Okay. Yeah.
The Philippine GOAT.
Yeah.
2. Sino pa ba? My goodness. Magic Johnson. Larry Bird. Kasi I grew up in that era, Magic. Larry Bird, Michael Jordan eh. So, 4 na yun. Sino pa ba isa? Michael Jackson. Para habang nagkwentuhan kami basketball, Michael Jackson, sumayaw ka muna, kumanta ka for entertainment. Di ba? Meron kami entertainment. Habang nagkwentuhan ng basketball. Di ba?
Yeah.
Meron siya, di ba? May mga ganun sa tabi namin. Ayan. Pwede.
Yeah. Magaling yung lista. Napag-isipan mo pa talaga in terms of the entertainment. So, that's a brilliant
list. Sabi sa'yo, may pagka-showbiz ako eh.
Yeah. Tama. Nag-gets ko na, coach ko. Bakit ka for sure. Ako, pag pumunta ako dun, may enjoy ko yung dinner ko. Yung 5 people na yun yung kasama ko eh. So for the final question of coach, since nga alam mo naman na, I want to be in sports media in the future, kaya I started the podcast and I invite athletes, coaches, media, sports media people through social media lang. So in your opinion, sino pwede kong i-invite dito sa DVD show na masarap makipagkwentuhan sila about sports, whether current sporting events or maganda rin yung journey nila or story, whether kahit basketball or hindi basketball, any pwede mong masuggest na ma-invite.
Na-invite mo na si Coach Tab dati, di ba?
Yeah.
Si Coach Charles Chu, madaldal yun, na-invite mo na. Di ba?
Yeah.
Coach Topex, of course.
Not yet. But then we've been talking. Hindi lang makakuha ng sked kasi
Coach
busy.
Topex, he's very good to talk to. Lots of insights, lots of knowledge. Of course, extra excitement pa yun because you're from LaSalle, di ba? So you get a glimpse of your head coach. I think he's the easily the next one dapat na mag-guest mo.
Yeah, sana after the D-League finals, so try ko siya ulit i-message. Kasi when I messaged him last time, papunta na pala siya ng US nung diba Coach Tab also went to this clinic in Vegas ata. So he couldn't, he was busy daw. So yeah, hopefully I get him on the podcast soon. So yeah, that's a great suggestion. And hopefully, kasi I like listening to him also, yung mga dati niyang testing. Marami akong natututunan on how he imparts. And yung YouTube videos rin niya. Dami rin ako natututunan from his, speeches and filtered pa yun, like sa lagay na yun. So,
Yes.
Thank you so much again, Coach Sandy, for joining me here on the DVD show. And do you have any final message before you go?
I'd like to thank you, Diego, of course, for inviting me. And medyo weird kasi of all people, why would you invite an Atenean, di ba? An Ateneo
Madaming
basketball
Ateneo na nag-guest dito. Most of the players, like sila SJ, sila Rafi, sila Isaac, they've all guested here.
Yeah. But, I've got a lot of friends from LaSalle as well. And in spite of our rivalry, we actually have more similarities than differences.
Yes.
So, and it's always good to chat and learn also from yung other friends mo from the other schools, di ba? So hopefully your followers, those watching, medyo natuwa naman kayo kahit papaano, di ba?
Syempre, coach.
Di ba? And thank you for not just for inviting me, but for your passion in featuring different sports personalities, especially from the basketball side. I mentioned about passion. Yung passion ko about this is your passion, di ba? And you're doing something good with this passion. Hopefully, it will lead to more opportunities and open more doors for you. And yeah, definitely. And ilang episode mo na to?
112 this one. 111 na ngayon. 112. Yeah.
Wow, di ba? So you've done remarkably well, and I think baka dapat i-guess mo sarili mo para yung mga nakikinig sa'yo, they find out, how do you end up with 112 episodes? Di ba? I should have a podcast about i-guess kita para ikwento mo, di ba? How come your passion has evolved into something big, di ba? And you never know, hopefully it will even be bigger, di ba? So that's a lesson in itself to, all of those people watching, di ba? Na you have passion, subukan nyo lang diligan, baka tumubo, di ba? You never know anong mag-sprout dyan, di ba? Where it will take you, di ba? Especially the young guys, young people, I should say. Di ba? Spread your wings. Di ba? Spread your wings and fly. Or in your case, di ba? Aim your bow and arrow and let it loose, di ba?
Yeah. Tama, coach. Like, no pandemic, like, yun ko naisip start yung podcast. Like, if there was no pandemic, I didn't know if I would have thought of it. Kasi diba yung mga podcasts, I'm not sure if you listen to some, like, they started flourishing nung pandemic then.
Yes,
and I felt
correct. Yeah.
Practice, diba? Good training if I want to be in media. Ganun. So,
yes.
Yeah, that's why I enjoy doing episodes, whether kahit sino yung guest, I learn also from the guest. And also when I meet them, like, in real life, like, or if I meet you, like, biglang magkakilala na tayo, ganun na
Yes,
mapag-uusapan na.
correct.
Yeah.
Kaya parang magkakilala na tayo kahit na hindi pa tayo nagkikita. You're correct.
Yeah. I enjoy meeting my guests. Like SJ, I saw him nung volleyball finals and apparently halos magkatabi yung seat namin and
Oh,
congratulate
nice.
niya parang champion Lasal, ganun. So it's great. It's the first time I talked to him in real life.
Nice. So hopefully I'll meet you soon.
Yeah. Thank you, Coach. And before you go, is it okay if we take a picture?
Of course.
Yeah, I'll take it from here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you, Coach, for joining me here on the DVD show and stay safe. See you soon.
Thank you, Diego.